What is that, an eagle?
That is my dragon. My reign has only begun. Ah! Dude, you have no idea. Can I tell you what you want no fucking part of?
What?
A dragon. Oh, you have a gun? They're bulletproof.
Do they have guns back
They
then?
see better at night, you asshole.
Did they have guns back then?
I don't know,
Are we
man.
talking Games of Thrones?
Yeah, we're talking about GOT.
What is there? GOT?
Yeah. I call it GOT. Ah! What the fuck is that in the sky? Is it a plane? Is it a bird? Ah! It's a fucking dragon! Run! Doesn't matter. You're not going anyway.
They shoot at it?
Good luck. You're going to shoot what?
Wait, no, they have guns in Games of Thrones?
They got fucking all
They do?
kinds of stuff.
They have guns?
Mostly arrows and spears.
Well, yeah. So why did you say they're shooting at?
Well, I'm just saying that I happen to know
that.
that they're bulletproof. I just know they are. If you get yourself a 50 cal, open up on a Drago, see what happens.
The old Drago.
Well, first of all, you're just going to
Dragon.
come make them mad. They live in fire. They live in fire. They were born of fire, and they can go forever without eating. You want no part.
Can you imagine if there really was dragons?
Yeah, it'd be a bad
I have
situation.
grown men on my Twitter and Instagram upset that I don't believe in dragons. Hey, Shab, how can you be so close-minded? But you watch 16 and Pregnant?
Well, they do have a point there. They do have a point that you're
At
balls
least 16 and Pregnant's real fucking people.
You're balls deep in that.
I don't even watch that bullshit anymore. Yeah, I watch 16 and Pregnant for a little bit. At least it's real life. At least there's really 16-year-olds that are pregnant.
Hey, whoa.
Fuck a dragon.
Whoa. Are you suggesting dragones are not real life?
Kind of.
You should go ahead and watch a documentary called Here Be Dragons, those crocodiles who grab wildebeest around the midsection.
Yeah, but they're not flying and breathing
Well,
flames.
you don't know, and maybe their ancestors were.
Well, they are pterodactyls back in the day.
Yeah, those things were big.
Can you imagine if there really was fucking dragons?
Well, things
We'd
that
all
breathe.
be fucked.
Well, if you think about it, there are eels. I always forget this. There are eels in the bottom of the ocean.
Electrocute?
Oh, that can fucking apparently electrocute the shit out of you.
Well, yeah, there's electric eels. We all know that shit.
Yeah.
There's also...
Evan, find out how bad an electric eel can be.
I've seen people get stung. It's not that bad.
It isn't?
Actually, no, I've actually seen people catch them. It's only if
Really?
you're, like, stuck. Like, they kill their prey by, constant. But it's not enough to kill a man unless you have a heart condition.
I would love to be able to generate electricity like that.
That's
You know what I
silly as
mean?
fuck.
Like you grab me in jiu-jitsu, and all of a sudden,
Well, there's that fish at the super deep depth of the ocean where it has the light on its
Yes,
head.
it has a
and you get
lantern.
close.
Yep,
That's pretty sick.
I know.
The old jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
You know that's what they call them.
Old jack-o'-lantern fish. They got
Jack-o'-lantern fish.
giant teeth too, and a big mouth.
Yeah, fuck those fish. Fuck your dragons. I don't care. How was your weekend, man? We haven't seen each other in a while.
I'm so glad you asked. I was in
Where were
Naples.
you?
Naples at Fish and Giggles.
Was it Fish and Giggles?
It wasn't that one. It's
Fish and
supposed to be a new.
Giggles. Fish and
It's
Giggles.
supposed to be a new club, and the average age of my audience was about 55, and
That must have been fun. I bet Dropping Knowledge killed it there.
and not only that, there was a my opener was at one point the last opener I had 3 different ones. Last one was he had a toupee and he was about 70, and I'm not exaggerating. Very funny.
Boom,
Very
boom,
funny.
boom, boom.
Yeah, but
You doing like those? Like,
and I go, you like Naples? He goes, I love it here. I go, of course you do. And a really good man. Rode for Joan Rivers for like 7 years.
man, sounds like an amazing.
But it was
show.
just a very different experience for me.
Sounds like you're killing it.
I'm killing it. Listen, there's nothing like taking 2
He was
planes.
70.
There's nothing like.
Hey, everyone, thanks for coming. Fish and chips in the back.
Well, it's worse than that because.
You sent me a video. I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, I had to send you a video because you're the only one I can commiserate with. I take 2 planes. There's a 2-hour layover in Charlotte. That's fun. Then I rent a car and I drive about 45 minutes to Naples. Very nice place I'm set up when. And I get to the club. I have to wake up 3 o'clock my time, do some press. That's fine. And then I get to the club. It's a fish restaurant. I thought it was going to be a different setting. I didn't know it was going to Yeah, I got honey dick.
There's like a stage and then the restaurant.
Oh no! Please, no.
no stage.
It's a fish restaurant, and then he put a tiny stage in sort of the middle, with a sign that says "Off the Hook." Yeah. Oh no, please. And they're eating.
Someone should be fired for sending you this. Someone should be fired.
Well, I thought for some reason he had changed it into a club. I thought I was going to a club. So I go, is there a green room? They go, well.
Yeah, bitch.
Well,
by the peel and eat shrimp where the lobsters are dying in the back.
If you could walk through this maze past the dishwasher, say hi, how you doing? And then if you just go in this room, they open up a room, which was a closet, and there was a table and a chair, and it smelled so strongly of bug spray, and it was just that was the room that they wanted me to sit. There was one chair with a bottle of water in a bucket with no ice. It was a very interesting experience.
You're beyond
so obviously, yeah, I couldn't. So then I had to be among the people as they were coming in. There was nowhere else to go, so I was hiding outside. And it was, I don't know if you know what Southwest Florida is like in June.
It's swamp ass for everybody. It's swampy swamp for everybody.
You're getting so sticky just standing.
Everywhere.
You're sticky standing.
Sticky.
You
sticky
sticky
buns.
stick.
Everyone's sticky buns.
Sticky buns.
Sticky buns galore.
Straight up sticky buns. And I was so done by the time I got up there. By the way, I had some
You were
great
exhausted
sets.
by the time you got up there.
Well, and when
dehydrated,
oh.
smelled like hush puppies, smelled like bad decisions and crab.
And what exactly? That's right. Bad decisions and crab.
You know what? It should
have been called bad decisions.
From
and
now
crab.
on, obviously I know your agent.
Yeah.
From now on, when you tell me where you're gonna go, I'm gonna call you and go, hey, do they sell hush puppies there or peel and eat shrimp? He can't go.
Can't go.
He's not doing it.
Can't go.
I'm gonna veto this. He's not doing it.
Nothing more depressing.
Can't do it.
I'm at the point in my career
You
where
sent
I
me a
can
video.
say no.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll say no for you.
Every time I got on, I was like, fish and giggles, fish and giggles. And I just kept doing that. And then pretty soon the audience was going, fish and giggles, fish and giggles. Yeah.
Fish and giggles.
I was like, why are they calling it
Fish
off
and
the hook?
giggles.
Let's call it fish and giggles because you're eating fish and it's giggles. I open up like that. I go, guys, I took 2 planes to get here. And then I drove from Fort Myers. And I'm in a fish restaurant, and they just all started laughing.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, a lot of Fighter and Kid fans came. If I didn't have Fighter and the Kid fans, I don't know.
There've been 7 people eating boiling shrimp crab.
Yeah, I don't know how people go to those. You know, I told you the first time I ever did Marco Island, which is the same club. The guy, I was doing my jokes to 25 people, and there was an old man, and he was going, "Shut up!" I'm not kidding. And I go, he must be talking to somebody at his table. And I say another joke. He goes, "I said shut up!" And I go. Is he talking
entertainment, man.
Is he talking to me? And his wife was slapping his hand like it was on fire. She was trying to keep him like, she was going, stop, hitting his hand.
He's trying to
And he
enjoy
goes,
those
and he goes,
fucking
don't touch my hand.
crab
I go, am I
cakes.
saying something to offend you, sir? And he goes, shut up. And then
What's wrong with that guy?
I go, everybody give him a hand. He's telling me to shut up. He was just too old to, of course, be mad at.
He was out of it.
And his wife was going, and then he fell asleep and had my, yeah, it was good. So that was my experience then.
Oh, man, I love it.
Yeah, I've had some
makes me
good
laugh.
times. I've had some good times there. I will never go back there.
Nah, probably not. Like I said, from now on, I'm going to call your agent because we
Yeah.
share him because he books our live shows. I'm
Yeah.
going to say, hey, man, I need some details on where you're sending Callan.
Go ahead and
He
give
ain't
some
going.
details.
He ain't going.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have to give it the Schaub test first.
Go ahead and get a shot there.
Hey, could you run it through the Schaub filter?
Is
go ahead and run it
there
through
crab
the
cakes
Schaub
and fries? No, he ain't doing it.
can't do it.
2 fights? Not doing it.
You guys get some free crab cakes with your giggles here.
I love crab cakes. Though,
They had a
man.
raffle too. I don't know if I mentioned that before I got on. Yeah, there's a raffle. Who
what?
won the raffle? There he is. Come on up here.
What does he win?
I think probably a free grouper,
lobster.
a plate of grouper.
A lobster in the
Probably
back.
a lobster and a plate of grouper.
God damn it, man.
You get a whole bunch of fish protein. You won the lot of. Give me a hand, everybody. Oh.
You're a man of the people, though. You went from
I am.
1,000 people at Vic to Fish and Giggle. You just dropping.
I'm working on new
Comedy.
stuff, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's all good because you're getting reps.
Yeah, it's an audience. That's literally what it is.
Yeah.
You're getting reps.
Yeah, you are.
But let's not take 2
Yeah, I
planes.
was gonna say, but do you have to take Southwest,
Yeah.
drive, Fish and Giggles?
Yeah.
4 days, come back.
You can't do that. And make it 5 days.
We can get reps.
Well, go ahead and make it 5 days because I got Wednesday's a whole day of travel, as you know.
For sure.
Yeah.
You can get reps here.
And Sunday's a whole day of travel, so go ahead and make that 5.
You get reps here in
Got to get reps here.
LA. There's just go ahead.
Go ahead. And,
I will pay. How about I pay you not to go anymore?
I hear
I will also make crab cakes.
I hear you. It's terrible.
You missed a good time. You're missed with the Jason Ellis Goat Kart Invitational.
You won.
I won my heat. So check it out. The original heat.
Car's too small for you, of course.
Yeah, I was like King Koopa in Go Kart
Yeah.
and Mario Kart, but all the carts were the same power.
Yeah.
But it was like in the Razor headquarters.
Yeah.
Like it looked like Costco on steroids, but they set up a cool course.
Right.
And so I did some pre-runs. I was like, oh, this thing's fucking easy. I'm going to win this thing for sure. And so the original heat, I was in the first heat. The first ones to go was Dominic Cruz, Keith Jardine, myself, and this guy, Eddie, I forget his name, but a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I think Muay Thai guy. I think Dominic's boy. Either way, great guy. But right away we were going, And it's not like regular driving because there's a giant Sasquatch that throws shit at you. Jason Ellis was on the side with flour and hit you in the face with flour.
Really?
They'd hit you with tennis balls. They would give you shortcuts, or someone would grab you and toss you off your cart. There's ramps. There's dangerous. It was fun, man. So right when we start going, I fucking slam into the wall because someone bumped me into it, and my go-kart breaks. So everyone else keeps going. My go-kart's broke, and then that's where Kay posted a video of me freaking out where I take the tennis ball and start hitting people, and I jumped over Keith Jardine and started freaking out. Anyways, so my heat...
I saw that on Instagram.
Yeah, so my heat was done. So then you go to the losers bracket. So there's like 4 or 5 heats. So then all the winners race, all the losers race. So there's one winner for the winners bracket, and there's one winner for the losers. And I won the losers bracket.
Oh. All right. Who won the overall?
Oh, what's that dude's name? The fuck's Jason Ellis' boy from Australia?
The surfer-looking guy?
He's oh god damn it. Yeah, he's been on Ridiculousness, Australian cat. Come on. Kills me. I fucking
What did he win?
This cool trophy. However, they had like some thing in the back. I wanted no part of it. I was like terrified they're gonna ask me to do it. Kay was with me this whole time. They had a car, like a used car, and then they had huge axes and like bats and stuff. And like, oh, let's fuck the car up, cut through it with this. They had like special swords and knives.
Gee whiz.
Of course, I'm the big guy, so like,
Yeah,
let's see how you do. But I just hid in the back so they couldn't see. I didn't even crouch down.
And they tore the car apart?
Fuck this thing up with like knives and axes. I just had no desire to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Drive an axe down through a car.
Dude, I'll tell you what though, Dominic Cruz, dead serious wanted to win. Dead serious.
Yeah, he's
was telling his friends they don't want me to win. They brought me. They don't want me to win.
What?
Hey, bro.
Oh, he's competitive in everything. He's
He's
probably one of those
like
guys.
Lance Armstrong.
Yeah.
Uber winner. He lost. He got punched in the face because you're allowed to have boxing gloves on and punch each other in the face. He punched Jason Ellis in the back of the head so hard, knocked him off his little heart. And then, him and Ellis goes, I bet I can hit you. You know, like just footwork, like, Dominic Cruz. No one fucking touches Dominic Cruz.
No.
He goes, if I hit you, I have to say I'm the toughest guy in radio. Dom was like, cool. I left before that. I saw some of the video. He ended up just grabbing him and touching him, but
He couldn't hit him.
I mean, if they were really going, not a chance. Yeah. But he grabbed him and touched him, so he gets that honors. It was fun though, man. Ev was there. Who's the girl from the social media?
Oh, Mina.
Nina?
Mina with an M.
What about her?
She came. So it was me, Keely, and Mina, and we just took over all the social media for Fighter and the Kid and UFC on Fox and blasted out. Took a bunch of 360 video, which we'll get a little bit later. Took some we strapped a GoPro around Brendan's chest. It's a little tough to get that thing around you.
Yeah.
Yeah, his chest is too broad.
You're wide.
You would have had fun though.
Yeah.
It's fun as fuck. Yeah. Those go-karts are fast, man.
Fun as shit.
I was a little worried about getting fucked up. As long as you stay in, your, like if you don't put your legs or arms out, you're fine.
I want to do airsoft. Apparently, like where you
talking about the guns?
Yeah, like war games. Like that's what the military does a lot of times, but they hurt apparently. Like
it's like paintball.
Yeah, but it's actually apparently
we got to hit up that military guy and go do that
that's
stuff.
What we have to do. Do you have his number?
Yeah, I have his business card.
Let's
in
call
my
him
wallet.
and we
should just send him an email.
Let's go get our tactical fight gear and our fight game on. We got to start taking that seriously.
Well, Special K and Ev and I were talking when we were gone. We're going to do a Spartan race.
You guys go ahead and do that.
That's exactly. They go, what about Bryan? I go, we'll just plan it. If he makes it, great.
Yeah,
we just keep on.
I'll videotape it. I'll videotape it and I'll cheer for you guys. And I just have to train for it, and I just
not really.
How far is the?
There's small ones. There's big ones.
It's just mainly like obstacles.
There's like your mom does them, right, and your dad.
My parents are like balls deep in them.
Like you're not trying to fucking qualify for the Olympics.
Well, but I am.
If I could do it, you could do it.
No, I know I can do it. It's just a lot of effort. A Spartan race, huh? All of us?
Yeah, do it as a team. I'll create some badass Spartan race or like Venice.
Where are they typically?
They're everywhere.
They're all over.
Like in the Rose Bowl.
This airsoft thing sounded very intriguing, but you
won't get over the airsoft thing, huh? We're talking about Spartan race right now.
Well, but the airsoft thing is apparently a total workout.
Laser tag.
No, it's a workout, and you get hit with some of those things.
Have you ever been paintballing?
No.
Same shit.
Apparently it's
No, they're the exact
soft
same.
is better.
No, well, it's a more realistic, but you're
Yes,
you're
more
shredding,
realistic.
But it doesn't.
Yeah, but with real guns.
That's
Well,
gonna
sorry.
take some effort too.
I know. You got to be in shape. You'll panic. You're a
Are
big
you
target.
not in shape? I don't
No,
get
I'm
it.
in
Are you
shape.
scared?
No. I'm not scared. I would just feel like we'd have to train for a Spartan race and
This is like I told him. I
I
said
don't
Brian's.
like
I
running.
said Brian's gonna be a negative Nancy. We're gonna do it. If you make it, great.
I'm just not into
The
running.
Fighting Kid team's just gonna keep on keeping on, man.
I know, but I don't like running, It's not.
But it's not like. But it's like more obstacles.
Yeah.
Like you gotta go through the mud. You want to be an electric eel, you get electrocuted.
Oh, I don't want to.
You go through the ice challenge.
The tough mudder, yeah.
Yeah, like you run
that-
to the obstacle and then you do the obstacle and then you just run to the other one.
Okay, will you
Takes
find
like
one
an
that's
hour.
will you find one that's close? I'm not trying to fucking fly to
Yeah.
the UK to do it.
Yeah, they're all
I'm sure
over.
people reach out to us now.
Yeah.
You missed a great fight, my man. Great fight on
Yeah.
CBS. There's 2 fights.
Yeah.
So it started off on Showtime with Anthony Joshua, who's my number 1 for superstardom, next big time heavyweight. He fought this guy Brazil, who's
Is that his name? I don't know how you say his name. It's a weird name.
well, no, it's not that weird, something like that, Brazil. But he played football at University of Northern Colorado,
Oh.
quarterback.
Ooh.
Went to the Olympics. Anyways, he got absolutely fucking wrecked.
This guy went to the Olympics as a boxer.
Both of them did.
Okay.
Anthony Joshua won gold.
Yes.
This guy I think he never placed, but he went, so he
And
must
just
be
got
pretty
wrecked
fucking
in the
good.
7th round or something.
Destroyed. Couldn't touch Joshua.
Damn.
But again, like he's like a slow starter. He's a plotter. You're fighting Anthony Joshua in his hometown. Like
Yeah.
all the cards are set for Anthony Joshua to succeed. I think he's the next big superstar. You look at his physique; it's insane. But the real test, like think about it. If boxing was like the UFC, in just the heavyweight division in the world, you'd have Klitschko, Tyson Fury, Ortiz, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. You have all these guys, man.
Amazing.
Just and think about them constantly fighting each other.
Yeah.
Think how big boxing
Yeah.
would be. But instead, you have WBO, WBCO.
Oh, so they're all different, and they
have-
don't talk to each other really.
Well, it's just different promotions and what makes
Right.
money and what makes sense. But think if you had like the UFC, this is where the UFC does
sick.
well.
Yeah.
Think about it. You'd have these. You have a class of really the top 6 where you're talking about elite of the elite fighting each
So
other.
will we not see Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua fight each other anytime soon?
Well, Tyson Fury's supposed to fight Klitschko, but he just pulled out. They're actually supposed to fight, I think, this in July, but he pulled out because he said he rolled his ankle. But people close to his camp, the rumors was he just wasn't in shape. He wasn't ready.
Tyson
He
Fury
wasn't
wasn't?
taking it serious, yeah. So
Yeah.
he said he rolled his ankle to get more time. But so he wasn't supposed to fight Anthony Joshua anyway. The fight is Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. And they
That's
both
the fight.
and Anthony Joshua kind of called Deontay Wilder out. Wilder's like, let's do it. He has a fight coming up with Chris Arreola soon,
Okay.
but
So the winner of that would be.
that'd be the.
Are Wilder and Joshua in different divisions than Tyson Klitschko?
Different weight, different world title holders.
That's what I mean.
That's
yeah.
the difference.
So
yeah.
one's in what's okay, and
They're all different.
so they'd have to strike a deal across.
Yeah, which I don't. It's
So
fucking
annoying.
sport up, man.
Yeah, it's
because I
annoying.
was looking at heavyweights, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
You have so many cool champions. It'd be stacked. It'd be
Well,
like
that's
the old days. man.
Oscar De La Hoya was talking about how that's killing boxing. He was like, it was killing
killing it, man.
It was like, you got Bob Arum over here who won't talk to, this promoter over here, and it's just a pain
It's
in the
killing
ass.
it. And then you see on ESPN, they're like, breaking news: Canelo versus Triple G might happen late 2017.
Yeah.
I think now Canelo's fighting someone else in September.
Yeah.
And Triple G's fighting fucking Eubanks Jr. in England next. So it's just weird, man. Right? It's like
all
the
money.
demand's there, but God, if they could figure out the heavyweight division in boxing,
one
it'd be
division.
so fucking sick.
If you had one division, it'd be like a true champion. It'd be like so
I
competitive.
know, instead of a bunch of
You'd
different
have
belts.
sick fights. And then
147. I mean,
well,
they're so stacked, man. It's crazy. But then the real reason I want to talk about boxing is Keith Thurman versus Porter on CBS.
Sean Porter and Keith Thurman.
On CBS primetime television. If you want boxing to come back, this was the fight to do it, man. When's the last time a world champion and then the number one contender lived up to the hype?
Crazy.
Dude, I'm telling you, 12 rounds, and it was a fucking barn burner.
Jesus.
The entire crowd was standing up clapping. Like, it was amazing, man.
Damn. They did a lot of damage to each other? Or was
Oh, yeah. And Thurman landed shots on Porter where he has, I think he's 27-0 and 22 knockouts. Those shots he was landing on Porter knocks out anyone else. It was just a clash of styles. They've trained together before.
Yeah, they know.
Porter's dad coached Keith back in the day.
Right.
And his dad, for those of you who don't know, his dad was also one of the head coaches on the amateur team, on the Olympic team. So they just had all this history, and the fight was so fucking good.
That was what's fascinating to me is I talked to Sean Porter's dad for a while, and those guys all come up together. Like they know each other so well. Yeah. They fight with each other. He's trained him. It's all like a big.
They asked Porter about it, and he was like, before I turned pro, I had 200 amateur fights.
Yeah,
I fought everyone. I beat guys who are title holders now. I beat guys who are on the come up. Like, we all know each other.
Yeah.
It's just what we do.
Yeah.
So that's what made the fight so good. Because, sometimes in MMA, like Arlovsky and I trained together. So the fight was kind of weird, right? Because we've had so many rounds together.
Yeah.
But then you get guys like this who know each other, and they just go balls to the wall. So it's like, it's weird, man.
Yeah.
It was an amazing fight. Had my cheat meal. Haven't had cheat meal in quite some time. Had my cheat meal. Still on this Keto Kid project. Had the cheat meal of a large pizza from Domino's. I wanted to die.
Yeah.
I ate 4 slices. I felt like dying. Ruined my night of boxing.
So you enjoyed it, or it was just?
It was so good.
At first.
It was so good, and then
you felt like
2 slices in, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna push it here. Felt like dying.
I haven't
fasted the entire next day.
I'm on the plane next to this woman. I haven't eaten sugar or anything for a long time. I just don't like it. I just don't like the way it makes me feel. No big deal. Woman comes by. There's a woman. The woman comes by. Gives the woman. Would you guys like some salted caramel ice cream?
God damn.
I know. And I look at it and I was
like, this ain't Southwest.
No, this is American. And I go. Ooh, that looks good. And so the woman goes, I would. Yeah, I shouldn't, but I would. And I don't know this woman. The stewardess puts it down there, and then she goes, would you? And full of pride, I go, no, I'll just have some water. And this woman next to me
offended.
Goes, come on! Like really loud. Oh, come on! What are you doing? Yeah. Just eat some ice cream. You know you want it.
It's annoying.
And I was like, oh shit. I was like, huh? And I go, I'll take it. She goes, that a boy.
How old is she?
She's probably 50 tops, my age. That a boy.
Yeah,
that a boy.
It annoys some people.
Yeah, she was like, shut the fuck up. And she was kind of right. It was delicious.
Oh, I bet it was so nice.
It was fucking delicious. And then I'm such a pussy. I'm like, I wonder, maybe I don't feel that well. I was fine.
You're fine.
I was fucking fine. I was fine. Don't be a baby about stuff. You can become a Puritan. You can become a fundamentalist about fucking anything if you're not careful. It's how human beings are. I don't eat sugar anymore, so I'm better than you, and I'm judging you over there eating your fucking cookies, your brown discs of death. Enjoy death early, shit.
Brown disc of death?
That's what I call them in my mind.
Well, no, see, that's the thing. Anyone who's on a diet, like, it's rare I talk about my diet to anyone outside. Yeah. Do I ever talk? Ever?
No.
I actually don't.
No, but it works for you,
I hate
man.
when we sit down and people, when I'm ordering, like, what are you doing? I don't even like to discuss
Yeah,
that.
but the bottom line
I feel awkward because, like, yesterday with Jen and Wes, we went out to dinner.
Yeah.
And we're at our favorite favorite Mexican restaurant, Soul. And, it's fucking Mexican. There's chips and salsa. There's bean dip. And I'm not touching it. Yeah. I have just guacamole raw, and then I eat chicken and steak.
Yeah.
And like, it's kind of embarrassing when you gotta explain it. I hate it, man. It feels,
But you
just
feel
awkward.
better when you do it, so that's different. Like for you, you feel way better. You look better.
But I don't know. I don't recommend it for everyone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you never talk about it.
No, but I don't think there's one way to do things. Like, I've been on tons of diets. Some worked for me, some didn't. Overall, none of them really worked, to be honest. For me, the keto diet has worked. I see people saying, "Oh, it doesn't work," blah blah blah. For you, it doesn't, but don't get on social media or don't get on your blogs or don't get on your podcasts and shit on ketogenic because for some people, it's really helped. Yeah. What the fuck do you care? Yeah. Who cares, man? If it works for this person, maybe you have this whole empire where you're doing all this bullshit diet stuff. I don't think that works for some people, but I'm not going to hate on it.
And some people,
because some people that actually works.
Yes. And some people, I had a wake up call. Because I'm just, I'm reading all the stuff about how sugar's bad for you and simple carbohydrates, and I got all the evidence, and I get on a plane, and I'm sitting next to this rather heavy woman, and she's reading gossip rags, and I'm like already judging. I'm already like, well, look at this sugar loaf. Look at the sugar loaf eating all the gut. Now, this is in my mind, and I'm like, I'm not. I'm going to read something of substance.
I'm
and
better than
I don't
her.
eat sugar, and I'm going to drink water in your face. And I'm a dick.
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you the story. We're on the plane, and this there's somebody who got sick in the back.
Like thrown up sick? Or
They were having a heart issue or something.
Oh, not sick.
And
Heart issue's not sick.
No, yeah, this was an issue. This older woman. Was
This is
having
this
a problem.
Florida trip?
No,
Fishing
this
giggles?
was the last trip I went on.
Hey, bro.
I didn't tell you the story.
No, you making shit up?
No, this is the last, and it was because I didn't think of it at the time, but this is so funny.
So not sick. Homeboy had a heart condition.
Yeah,
big
something
difference.
was going on.
Yeah.
And they said the woman said you saw the stewardess go back there real quick, and then somebody said there's somebody who's sick on the plane. Please keep your seats for now. We're trying to figure it out. And the woman next to me, the sugar loaf that I was making fun of, she looks at the stewardess and goes, "I'm an ER nurse. Let me go back there and see what's going on." Fucking guy who doesn't eat sugar, who is reading some literature thing and all happy with himself. I don't know what to do. I'm useless right now.
Yeah,
She gets
shit.
up. She goes back there.
Helps the
She
guy.
makes that person feel much better. She does this thing. She's kind of telling him what to do. She comes back, and I go, I've been judging her the whole time. And I'm sorry. Before that, they come by with snacks. She grabs some cookies. And again,
you know what she's doing, brother?
What?
She's living.
she's living.
She's
And I'm
not.
going,
She's not as egotistical as you.
Exactly. And I'm going, no, none for me, please. I'm going to live forever. You eat your brown discs of death and die, bitch.
Yeah, wrong.
I'll sit here, yeah.
Wrong.
I'm sipping water. Enjoy your fucking poison.
Yeah.
Like little shithead
Meanwhile,
Bryan.
she's saving lives.
She goes back there and fucking makes somebody's life better, saves a life, God knows. Comes back, and by the way, she's an ER nurse. So she's in the fucking thick. She's seen it all.
Oh,
She's
my
saving
God.
people.
See, to me, that's living.
Exactly. And then this was the biggest lesson. I swear to God, I don't know why I didn't tell you this. I go, you're an ER nurse. She goes, I am. She goes, you're an actor, right? And I go, I am an actor. And she goes, it's so embarrassing. She goes, I knew it. I was looking in these gossip rags to see if I could find you.
Aw.
And I was like, I'm not
You're a
that
complete
famous.
dick.
Oh
my God.
Hey, man, do not
I never
think you're
judge.
cool.
Yeah, well, it's not even.
We all judge, but I mean, it's like,
We judge. Well, like yesterday, me and my girl went to the Glendale Galleria or whatever, the giant mall there. Yeah, I went there because we went to Rafi's, your spot. Okay, went to Rafi's. It's a Persian place.
Yeah.
Joe loves.
Yeah.
So we took the baby down there
in Glendale, right?
in
Or-
Glendale,
yeah.
and we were walking down there, and she wanted to go to this juice place, and we're in the mall, and you know how people are in the mall, and we're in the mall, and there's like this big line for juice. I'm looking at it, and she can tell by my face. I don't like malls. I went for her. I don't like malls. I hate malls. I hate being around tons
Yeah.
of people. And so I'm already agitated, and she goes, "Do you want anything?" I went, "Nope." She goes, "Why?" I went, "You know it's Kool-Aid, right?" She's like,
No,
Yeah.
it's that place where they have like, it's all like mango
they call
shit.
it fresh juice.
Yeah.
And I'm staring at it. I bet. I'm staring at it, and she goes,
It's
"No, these
awesome.
are really good for you."
Awesome.
And I went, "All right, I can't hold it anymore." "No, it's not. It's not. There's no fucking fresh juice. There's no fresh juice." I was like, about that. I was like, "There's no fresh juice.
It's
It's not
awesome.
fresh. It's Kool-Aid." And wrong. Everyone wrong.
On the same.
I'm on this keto diet.
On the
I'm starting
same
to
fucking
freak
way.
out.
On the same.
She's like,
fucking
"No,
way.
they have strawberry." I was like, "That's not strawberry." Oh God. Look at the syrup. Oh, that's not juice.
It's syrup.
It's next to fucking Cinnabon. Oh God. That's how I was, man. I was sweating.
But I'm sorry, but in a way, you know,
I'm
people
trying
think,
to help
people,
her.
think, people think they're getting a healthy smoothie.
I know.
They're getting 40 grams
Jamba
of sugar.
juice, all that is
40 grams
complete
of sugar.
shit.
It's like
but
drinking
this is
two
my
sodas.
thing for Tiger. You can't give him that stuff. Give him
Bro-
real
brother,
fruit
you're
juice. Give him-
preaching to the El choir over
I
here.
know.
You are preaching to the worst
But
of
it's
the
weird
worst.
because she was like, "I'm just gonna get a large kiwi strawberry." I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. That's cool." You want anything? I'm like, no. But then I was thinking about Tiger. Then my mind was racing. I was like, "That's not juice. That's not juice." Just freaking out,
Dude,
man.
my nephews, they're making, they buy bagels and they're just white flour bagels. There couldn't be more white flour. And then they're putting like jelly on them. And
Sounds delicious.
that's, I know. And
Is
that's
that
what they're-
living though? And we're a couple 1-2 fuckheads.
That the problem is when you start eating really, like you start paying attention, you start eating well, and you feel good. Like the difference. What I tell you? So once I stopped eating, I was eating berries, bacon and eggs, and I'm not hungry, and I feel like I never get tired during the morning.
Yeah,
when I eat pancakes or I eat toast, I just do. I start yawning an hour
how
later.
good are they,
Okay,
though?
it's great, but I'm not my best, and I don't feel as vibrant. That's all. No big deal. But my energy, I'm sensitive to my energy. When you feel the difference, is what I'm saying. When you know the difference, it's really hard not to go.
But that doesn't work for everyone.
I know it doesn't, and that's why with this woman who was an ER nurse, she was heavy. She's a better person than I am in a lot of ways. Well, a better person than I am.
Probably in every facet, bro.
Maybe in every facet.
And me.
You know what I mean?
We don't save any
I'm
lives.
Mr. Judgment. But however, there is a place where you do know the difference between how to eat healthy and how not to. You just do, and you've earned it. You learned it as an athlete. You read about it. You've talked to experts. You've experimented with your own body. When you do find that, it is a form of truth. It is a form of truth. In other words, if somebody was saying, I can't lose weight, and I'm doing all this healthy stuff. I go to Jamba Juice twice a day, and I only have 3 bagels.
Yeah,
You'd go, all right, let's just. You're driving
Just
toward this wall.
education.
You keep hitting this wall. Turn the wheel because I'm going to show you what I did.
know.
That's okay. But
Look at my brother. My brother was
he looks amazing. now.
250 something pounds. He's 6'1". He's 250 pounds, and he was drinking 3 Monster Energy drinks during the day. He always had snacks. I mean snacks. Like he would land in LA, and before he'd get to my house, he goes, "Dude, I gotta stop at the store and get snacks and drinks every single fucking time."
Yeah.
And this is how he is at home. When he's coming home from work, he needs his snackies.
Yep.
By snackies,
Snicker bars, and
Snickers,
Twizzlers.
gummy bears, Twizzlers, Monster Energy drinks.
Dude,
that's what he did.
he was-
He cut all that out because he got a kidney stone, and he was like, it was the worst pain I've ever had in my entire life. And he has a huge dick with a big old banana hose, and that thing was trying to fit through there, and it really hurt him. So he said he was gonna die. He said he felt like dying. So he's like, dude, I'll never fuck with that stuff, because his doctor was like, you're just too thick. You're just too big. Like, what's your diet like? He goes through. He goes, okay, man. Well, all this shit you got to cut out. So that pain, which I'm glad he went through that with his dick, because that pain, he won't even touch shit anymore. Yeah. And he's lost. I think he's 218 now. His jeans are fucking skinny.
He took his shirt off. He's got abs. I was like, what the fuck? Because when
albino
dude,
gorilla
he kicked me
now.
out of his room. He was like, he answered the door. He was starving. He disappeared. He answers the door. He's got Twizzlers in one hand. He's just chomping, tong tong, a king size Snicker bar, tong tong tong. And I go, that's I can't help it. I go, that's a lot of sugar,
Doesn't give a
It's
fuck.
he goes, yeah, I know. I go, but you should probably try to eat something. He goes, yeah. And he just closed the door. He couldn't take it. He had to get it down his mouth.
Dude, when he was here, I had him work out with me. I brought him to Box and Burn.
Yeah.
And I went, you're just going to do my workout. All right? He goes, cool. Sounds easy enough. I went, yeah, easy enough. What we're going to do is I'm going to hit mitts with my coach. You just do whatever you want. Do pull-ups over there and stare at the window. And then when I'm done,
do pull-ups and stare out the window.
and then when I'm done, I'll hold mitts for you. I never hold mitts for anyone, but it's my brother. So I was like, I'll hold mitts for you. And he's like, sweet. He doesn't really do cardio. Like he'll run on the treadmill.
he does bench.
Yeah, just he's like
he basically does bench press.
Bench press and he'll do some
curls.
deadlifts and curls. Yeah, and like shrugs or some shit. So he put on the mitts. I wrapped his hands, put on the mitts, and you would have thought it was Donna 5000. That bitch. He was fucking. I was like, hey, fucking Brawley McGee, where's the technique? But what's weird is it made me think it's a
Brawley
language.
McGee.
If you haven't really focused on like the
yeah.
technique of boxing stuff,
Oh, yeah.
like, and my brother, I'm not. There's no legal action that's going against him on this, but you know this, and I wasn't gonna say anything. But 2 weeks ago, him and I don't think I said this on the podcast. Him and our best friend Joe Kloffenstein were at a concert with our other buddy Austin Peterson, and they were at this concert.
And we talked about this a little bit.
Did we talk about it a little bit? And there was their friend was with a black girl, this big black girl. And someone at the concert before I didn't think it was the main event. They're walking by and the guy said, called her an N-word. Anyways, they in a scuffle.
Jesus.
Old shark eyes, doll smile.
Brought the elbows down.
Elbows. The biggest Mexican you've ever seen, straight in the nose, knocks him out. Klopp's choking the dude out.
He
Anyways,
gave him a couple 1, 2, maybe 10 elbows too.
he's been watching a little too much UFC.
Yeah.
He gave him the old Dan Hendo flying elbow from the bleachers.
Kaddish.
Yes.
Unanswered elbows.
Yeah, so my team fucks these dudes up. who deserved it because they were asking for it. My guys are super passive. Anyway, security sees all this happen. That's why no charges were pressed, and they made both of them leave, but nothing really happened.
Yeah.
Anyways, go from that to Jay hitting mitts like Dada 5000. I'm like, bro, we got to work on a technique. So he does whatever 6 rounds. He's like, I'm exhausted. I'm like, we're just getting started. So now we got the sled. I'm obsessed with sled right now. So we do the sled where the routine was you put 345s, so 645s.
Nothing better for your legs, my God.
Yeah, so you put 645s on the sled, and you push down, and then there's a rope attached, and you pull it back. And the rest is me. Well, while I'm going, he's resting. While he's going, I'm resting. So we're going back and forth. We get through 5 minutes. I don't know, man. He's laying on the ground. He's sweating balls. He goes, I don't know, man. This isn't my thing.
That's a lot.
He goes, it's not my thing. My hands are all sweaty because he has real sweaty hands. He goes, the rope. I feel like it's hard for me. I go, it's because you never do it, man.
Yeah, it's real. That's a very hard workout.
It was fun, though.
Sled will break a man.
Yeah, it was
you know what? A lot of it's education. Like I think like I read this fucking really good book because people don't know how to eat and people don't know how to do certain things, and a lot of it's just educating yourself. This amazing
a lot of people
book.
don't give a fuck.
But I think if they saw how easy it is, in some ways it's not as hard as people think. There's a really good book. People ask me to recommend books. I'll recommend one book. He's ketogenic, and I'm not saying you should do the ketogenic diet at all, but this guy basically his name is Gary Taubes. He's a science writer. He looked at all the science. It's not a very big book. It's called Why We Get Fat and What to Do About It. It's a really interesting book because it's great. Why we get fat.
Why you're fat? Yep. How are we going to change it?
And he talks about he analyzes all the obesity programs we've had since the 1930s. He looks at all the hospitals, all the obesity specialists keep failing.
The whole
we had
system's an issue.
we had a wrong model for why people put on weight.
Yes.
And it has to do with
even the pyramid.
Lost weight is, yes.
Even the
reason
pyramid.
you lost weight is because you were keeping your insulin in check, and he makes a really good case for it. But read the book. Scientific, fascinating, historical, scientific, really important book.
What's it called again, B?
Why We Get Fat and What to Do About It.
Yeah, I think, well, a lot of it's like convenience. So wherever you go, what's the convenient thing? Everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Like convenience is everything.
Yes.
It's everything.
It's also we have a food industry that's set up to sell you things that are, to sell you foods that, like, you don't make a lot of money on serving you food in its raw state. So you can serve something an apple or something. You make money by packaging foods, by creating foods, like creating yogurt sticks
it's all
with
it's all
sugar.
marketing.
Yeah.
Well, like the thing I've seen, I'm not giving advice how to lose weight. I'm not a fucking dietitian. The thing I see that people are successful with, what they're doing, because we're on the road so much, what I see people do a lot is, maybe you're in business, whatever you're doing, is whenever you order, you say, hey, put half of it in to go. So you eat half your meal because the calories are so high when you go out and eat.
Yeah.
You get half of it to go. That's the new thing.
A lot of it's also, though, the
that.
kind of calories. So if you ate a bunch of bread, you're still going to put on weight, where it's the kind of calories. Where the reason you don't put a lot of weight on is if you eat a lot of fat and protein, that keeps your insulin levels low. That's why you've lost weight. That's why your brother lost weight. So a lot of it is when you eat sugar and things
also work out sometimes a week.
No, but it's also things that when things break down as sugar, that is the number one cause. So it's really what you put in your mouth, because food behaves like it just behaves like a drug. But whatever. But you know, the other thing is, I'm in St. Louis.
I'm also not tuning into Bryan Callen, Brendan Schaub give diet advice.
No,
I'll be honest.
No.
Yeah,
No,
sorry,
it's
guys.
a bigger thing. Like the bottom line is, like, as a human being, when you have some information in your brain, based that you've done your research and stuff, and it's worked for you. Sometimes when you go to a place like St. Louis and you see that many fat young people who are miserable being fat, and you can see it.
Are they miserable?
You see it on their face,
Are they
dude.
fucking happy?
Oh,
You don't
no.
think I wish I could
No,
have a
no,
bag
no,
of
no.
Doritos
Some people
and
are
a gut right now and be perfectly happy?
No, some people are prisoners.
wish.
Some people are prisoners in
for
their own
sure.
body. They can't walk upstairs. It's bad. They have health issues.
Oh, you're talking about that 600-pound life.
Dude,
you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that show, My 600-Pound Life?
No.
There was you never seen that?
600-pound
Bro,
life?
first of all, they're 600 pounds, so let's just talk about
What?
it. They're 600 pounds. They look like human rhinos. So there was this black lady on there, and she couldn't stand. She couldn't do anything. Yeah, it sucks. However, most of the time I feel bad for it. For this one, I was like, fuck this lady. I want to kick her in the leg because she refused to walk. Her daughter was enabling her because she'd get her snacks all the fucking time, right? There's a reason why they're fat, because someone's enabling, getting them food. So she can't move. She can't do anything. They had to call the EMTs, like a fucking search and rescue team, to get her, pick her ass up, put her on the gurney, take her to the hospital.
Yeah.
So she gets to the hospital. while she's in the hospital, because she's not walking, she gets blood clots. It goes to her lungs. She's in cardiac arrest. If she wasn't in the hospital, she would have died right away. Wow. Whatever, they figure that out. The doctor looks at her and goes, listen, you have to eat right. We're going to keep you here. You have to try and stand. If you don't try and stand, you're going to die. Damn. She goes, you don't know how hard it is. Well, he goes, I'm sure it's very hard. I'm telling you, if you don't make an effort to stand because you're lazy and you don't feel like you want to do it, you're going to die. She's like, fuck it. So every day he would check on her and be like, in order to do this surgery, which they give him the gastric bypass surgery, so they lose weight. He's like, in order to do that, you have to lose some weight. All you got to do is stand. It's going to help. And she's like, no, fuck it. I don't want to do it. It was so frustrating.
That sounds like a mental.
That's what
condition.
It's not a mental condition. He talked to her and was just like, listen, man, like, you're so stubborn. We're here to fucking help you. I was literally like, just die. Like, fuck, man, come on. Even her daughter was like, please try and stand. Eventually, she tried, and
some people get so caught up in that. That's a form of addiction. That part of my dropping knowledge was going to be about that. Like, just.
Save it for the drop knowledge for sure.
Addiction.
Usually I'm on board with these though. Usually the people, they want to get better. They're all about it. This fucking doctor, the same doctor with the silver or the gold the heart things. He's a beast, man. Dr. Now, I don't know his whole name. Dr. Now, such a beast. Usually I'm like, man, it's inspiring. They're doing their shit. They're losing weight. Blah blah blah, but this fucking lady, I watched that at midnight. I was so frustrated. Yeah. Couldn't go to sleep. I'm like, God damn it, bitch, get the fuck.
She's not in control. It's just, some people are.
But she's just stubborn, and she was mean. Like, she was mean to her daughter,
and it's also like, it's a brain issue. That's something going on. Like when people are, it's a little bit like when you see people on the street who are wretches who can't stop doing drugs, and they're
Are you talking about addicts?
Yeah, there's something. Some people have an extreme version of addiction, and we don't really know much. Now we're learning more with brain science. But the idea used to be two things. You'd break it into two camps. One is you're lazy, you're a criminal-minded person, or you have bad character, and then you get punished. The worst way to do it. And the other is you have this progressive disease, this idea that you have this. It's like cancer or something, like just a progressive degeneration of your brain. So, again, brain science is changing that. I'll get into it.
Terrible.
I'll get into it.
No bueno. Nonetheless, no bueno
My
at all.
600-pound life. Sounds like a movie.
You've never seen that show on TLC?
Did you remember Eating Gilbert Grape?
Leonardo DiCaprio was in it, but I never saw it.
What's Eating Gilbert Grape, man? It's about these two brothers.
Oh, it's his mama, right?
Yeah, and she's a giant. She's insanely heavy, and the ending I won't ruin it for you, but I should tell you.
Nah, don't, because I'll never see it, but I will try and see it. Ev, what'd you do this weekend, man?
I went up to Orange County for a Born Free motorcycle show.
Born Free?
Yep.
Just
very motorcycle-ish. Just the fellas?
No, it was, all the guys and their girlfriends.
Couple side pieces hanging off the back of the bike?
Yep, exactly.
What kind of bike? What kind of bike did you ride up there? What kind of hog are you on? Or were you behind somebody holding on to his hips?
No, I had to, my bike is in the shop, so I had to drive.
Oh yeah.
You know, in Brazil, like if there's like a moped, a bike, it's so gay. If you get on the back of it, they won't give you. You can't do it. You can't do it.
It's just.
They're so masculine. Yeah. You can't do it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, bro, there's whoa. No, you're like, God damn.
I'll do one better. In Spain, when I think it was Almodovar was trying to make a movie, they had to have a woman tie a man up and slap him around, and they could not find a male actor to do it.
Nah, I'm good, man.
They could not find a male actor, and they finally found this one dude who was willing to do it, but. They had to change things. I mean, that culture, they were like, you're not having a woman.
So what all did you do up there, Ev?
Oh, we just got a house up there, Airbnb, a little spot for the 15 of us or so.
And what do you walk around, look at people's motorcycles and shit?
Yeah, there's thousands of people there. It's like a pretty big show. So there's like live music. There's a bunch of booths set up.
It's an event.
Yeah, it's
and then
you
party at night?
Yeah.
Just the fellas and the hogs.
Yep.
Fellas and hogs, huh?
Hogs and fellas.
Yeah. Hey guys, you want to go out there and rev our engines for no reason, just into the air? Now that we're all.
Hey, someone will use my ears at handlebars.
Hey, you know what? I got
to start my mouth.
Hey guys, I got.
Isn't that what they do?
Hey guys, I gotta take a piss. Anybody want to help me piss? Come on over here around the back and help me piss. Oh man, he's too hard to piss. Somebody help me get this thing unhard. Hey, you're the one who said fuck start my mouth.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck, man.
Oops.
It was fun, though, Ev.
Yeah,
Aren't you
it
going
was-
on
sure,
another
it
one
was
next week?
Next week, I'm going to Palm Springs for a friend's birthday.
Ooh, rum.
Back to Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Get that biker gang together again.
Get the
You got a
biker
tattoo,
boys.
though.
Yeah. My
Ev
friend
the
brought
Cub
his,
got a tattoo.
Yeah, my
Sure
buddy brought his
did.
tattoo gun up to the house.
Shave your thigh
Hold,
down.
hold
Shave
the
your thigh
fuck
down.
up. Hold the fuck up. You're in this Airbnb, drunk with your motorcycle gang, and
we
your buddy's all, "Hey man, I got a fucking tattoo
I
gun.
brought my tattoo
Who wants
gun."
a tattoo?"
Yeah, basically.
And you're like, "Ooh, I'll do it."
I mean,
Well, it didn't
almost
happen
all
that
of us
way.
have gotten tattooed by this particular friend.
He
of ours.
branded you.
He's
He,
tattooed a bunch
he
of
marked
us.
you guys up.
That same tattoo. All you guys have that same tattoo?
No, not the same one.
Does he-
He's just tattooed like all
so
of us.
does he do that after he fucks you or before?
Sometimes before, sometimes after. It's a
Okay.
little bit of both.
Were you hammered, Ev?
No.
No,
Like,
you were dead sober.
No, I wasn't sober. I had a couple beers, but it didn't
So
play
he-
any part in whether or not I made that decision.
So like the guy who brings his guitar to parties, he brings his tattoo gun. He brings his tattoo gun to Palm Springs.
I'm gonna slap them in the face.
You guys are all hanging out, doing shots. Woo! This is so fun. You guys are great. I love your hair. It's amazing. What's going on with your shoulders? Do you need more suntan lotion? Whatever you guys are doing. And all of a sudden, he's like, I brought my tattoo gun, and somebody's got to shave their thigh. Who shaved your thigh for you?
I did.
Hey, does he have
I
a?
shaved my thigh myself, Brian.
Hold up, Ev. Does he have a background tattooing?
Yeah. He was gonna do it professionally. He apprenticed for a couple years and then just got into like production. So now,
Okay.
now he does that. So it's not his first rodeo.
That
He's
doesn't
tattooed
make it
a
as
bunch of
bad.
people.
Did he use Carver's butter? What's it called? Shave butter?
I don't think
shave
so, man.
butter.
We don't have that.
We,
sponsor on
we,
this.
we, we didn't have a lot of amenities.
Hey, bro.
Not a lot of amenities. It was really just
also
wash your hands and hope you don't get Hep C.
Yeah, you're good. Would you do?
We're just fucking around. Me and my brother got tattooed this weekend.
Would
your bro was there.
What'd your brother get?
He got a similar tattoo. He got like a skull with like a railroad spike through the top.
And you got a skull with a palm tree coming out of the top.
Yes.
I'm not mad at it, Ev. It's very sailorish.
No, well, I wasn't in Palm Springs. I was in Orange County.
No, but did you get the palm because you love Palm Springs?
No, and I don't love Palm Springs.
He just
Palm
loves
Springs sucks.
dates. He loves
Legit
dates.
question. What'd you do? What'd you do this weekend, Kay?
My life is not as exciting as the Cubs.
Well, you were with us at the Jason Ellis thing.
Yeah,
huh?
that was so fun.
Was
was
it?
the real shit show.
People
It
should
was
know
so
that
fun.
Keely's hair right now, she's
I'm not mad
pulled
at
it up into a samurai bun on the top of her head, and it looks like the mushroom cloud you see after a nuclear bomb explodes.
This is like
It's very
going
cute.
to the gym after hair.
Yeah.
So.
So what'd you do, KK?
This weekend I went bowling with my best friend America,
Love her.
and
America.
then yesterday I saw The Shallows. That movie.
Is that good? I don't know. Is it like a shitty Jaws?
No, it's good until the ending.
Well,
I'm not gonna say anything, but
it's about.
Blake Lively is so hot.
Oh, she's gorgeous. So Blake Lively is trapped on an island, and there's a shark that won't let her off.
No, so she goes surfing, and she surfs in this like place that's not really popular,
Okay.
and then she gets bumped off her surfboard by a shark. She
Standard.
gets bit in the leg,
Standard.
and then she has to swim. So she's too far to go to shore. So there's like this little
Island,
and she goes there and
of course.
practically stays there the whole time. But then the high tide comes, so she has to swim to the buoy. And the buoy, it's really intense.
And the shark's just chilling there.
The shark's chilling there because
Yeah, that's fake.
because there's a whale that's dead. So
Oh, so he's snacking on that whale.
So it's
Damn.
That's kind of legit.
it's really good, and the shark looks so real. It's really scary.
Is it based on a true story?
absolutely.
I don't
not.
think
Damn
so.
it.
Absolutely.
But it's so good because
You haven't
she's
seen
so
the previews?
hot. It's really
I
good.
have seen the previews.
It's really good. Except for the
she's
end, I was like,
gorgeous. She's super gorgeous.
yes.
Would you bowl?
What do you mean?
What was your score?
Oh,
Shitty, like 60 or
like
something.
100.
As
that
long as you
good?
break it, yeah, I guess. As long as you break 100.
You want no part of me on a
My
bowling alley.
daycare was bowling alley. We used to bowl every
Are
weekend.
you a
with my
good
dad.
bowler?
Yeah, Jay just bowled 200 something.
What?
We grew up bowling all the time.
My boyfriend's good at bowling, but anytime I'm not with him, I'm always the one that wins. So everyone sucks.
Interesting. All right, Ev. Current events with Evan the Cub, the tattoo bear.
Evan the Cub, the tattoo, the beard.
All right, first current event that we've got for today. Let's talk about this teenager who's in serious, pretty fucked up condition after a hyena got a hold of his face in the middle of the night.
Where's this at?
This is in South Africa. 15-year-old kid is in his tent, wakes up. There's a hyena eating my face.
Well-
That's what he woke up to.
Yeah.
I had to send this tournament to Evan. Every morning I wake up, read the news. I thought, holy fuck, there's a hyena eating a kid's face off. This is a current event.
Yeah.
Does anyone know the size of a hyena? But this is the other thing. How the fuck did the hyena get in the tent without anyone hearing it? The kid woke up to him eating his face. And if you read the article, the dad or the mom, or I think it was his grandma, was like, yeah, it sounded like when you take a bag of chips and you crush the chips.
Christ.
It was crushing his face.
Christ.
And it yanked him by his collar and took him outside of the tent and was sitting on him. But then people were yelling at the hyena, so he like took off and left the kid there. But they got him out there on helicopter, and he's having surgery now. I think he had a broken jaw.
Yeah, he had reconstructive surgery.
Yeah, but, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
first of all-
but this has happened before too.
Yeah, from what I've read about hyenas is that they when you're a regular guy and you're walking, they won't attack. They're kind of afraid of people. However, if you take a nap, people will wake up. They'll come up and go and they'll creep up and they'll literally bite a piece of your face off, and you're like, what the fuck? And then they run away. Or this is what I've read. If you have a limp, if you have a bad foot, if you have an issue with your knee, they can pick up on it. And they go, that dude's wounded.
Well, he's the weak in the.
And that's when it's
weakness
kind of
in the-
dangerous to be around hyenas.
This is
Now-
my thing, though. Where did you read this? Because there's not too much human to hyena interaction, right?
Well, there's enough. I mean, just like anything else, like if you're in South Africa, if you're on safari or whatever, or guys. But mainly it comes from people who used to work in the bush. So the Africans themselves, the Kalahari and like the Maasai and stuff like that, who are around hyenas a lot.
Yeah,
You know?
because you're
So
getting work
kids,
done.
especially kids who were like 14, 15, who would work.
This kid's
who were
14?
with they were with their goats or their whatever, and their shepherds. They had to deal a lot with it. But what's really interesting is that they will. This woman who was taking care of hyenas, she was from New York. She wanted to be a zoologist, and she was kind of this girl.
Wait, she's taking care of the hyena in Africa or New York?
It was in Africa, and it was a sanctuary. You know when they rehabilitate.
Yeah, yeah.
hyenas. You know
He
those
like-
people that get in the
He
cage
like
with the
rolled
tigers.
his ankle or some shit.
You know
and
the tiger
she wanted-
sanctuaries, and you got somebody who's in there with them, playing with them. Like
Yeah.
it's always some woman volunteer who just loves big cats, and with 4 tigers, and they're doing a good job. Same thing. This hyena she'd been taken care of. She had 1 week left in her, whatever, and she was going to go back. And Monsieur Hyena was like, you're wearing shorts. You got some big old thighs. I'm gonna have to
nibble on them.
I just can't stare at these thighs anymore. You can't walk in with big tan New York thighs and not have me. And he started to eat her, and she said he was pulling at her and he was eating. He was biting because they can bite through hippo bone.
Well, they have the strongest jaws in the animal kingdom.
Yeah, he's biting.
Did you know that?
Yes,
That's
I
what they
think
say.
the American alligator apparently has more pressure.
No, well, American alligator, I think from their species, like,
Yes.
don't take reptiles and alligators out of it. They're
Yeah.
numero uno.
I bet.
That's what they say.
Yes, they crush hippo bones. So it was taking chunks, and she was watching it with dead eyes swallow her pieces.
But she lived?
Yeah, she lived because they came in, they beat it.
Have you seen the picture where India, where the guy walking the hyena? And the
That's
hyena,
actually Nigeria.
Is it?
Yeah, Nigeria.
And the homeboys just walk him like a pet. He's fucking enormous.
Muzzled.
Hyenas are scary as fuck. Although in the Lion King, they make them look like bitches.
Well, a bunch of hyenas will kill female
yeah.
lions. You know who they're not. Who the male lions, fully grown male
You
lions.
got that, bro?
Fully grown male
They
lions.
stuttering Stanley.
Yeah, I got some
You
stuttering
know what?
issues. When I talk about hyenas, get all stuttering.
They scare me too.
You know, say,
Say it again.
Mr. Big Lion, fully grown male lion, he ain't hearing a peep out of an entire group of hyenas. He just comes running into the
No, he
middle of
just
them.
slaps the
He just
fuck
comes
out.
through the middle going, where's the big one?
Hyenas are fucking gangster.
The
man.
females are the ones that rule the roost. They're bigger too.
Yeah,
the
they're
females are bigger.
fucking crazy.
They're also hermaphrodites, I think. They have 2 sexes.
Yep, correct.
Yeah, they're weird.
Hyenas are weird animals,
And they kill each other when they're puppies, when they're
Yep,
tiny. They
yep.
kill each other.
So do lions.
Fratricide.
Yep.
They commit fratricide.
So do lions.
I don't think so.
Yeah, the males that kill the cubs.
Oh yes, but I'm saying, there's no other species that I know of where when they're babies they
They
fight.
kill each
they
other.
fight and kill each other.
Jesus
When they're
Christ.
babies,
Hey man.
yeah,
Hey bro.
They're-
Let's not kill each other.
they're morally corrupt.
We talk a shitload about animals all the time.
It's
don't
so fun though.
we? We're like fucking.
It's that fascination with
zoologists.
power and.
Oh, see, it's not me. There's no power in it. There's no ego for me. I just find them cool.
No, I'm saying what they can do to you. Anything they can eat you is going to be of endless fascination to human beings. They're going
So
to be
people
like,
love sharks.
yeah. Yeah. And also the idea that it's killing you with its face. I mean, it's just so crazy. And by the way, here's a really fucked up thing to say. I think you'd rather be eaten that way by a hyena than a human. A human take a long time. They got those flat
Humans
teeth.
aren't going to be able to kill you.
It just
by
take a long
eating you,
time.
unless
to
they
eat
bit
you.
your throat.
There are people that do that. They just eat you. Yeah, they start at the old calves.
Well, if you're tied down and
That's
drugged.
what I mean, dude. You're not drugged because that dulls the pain.
I don't think so. Don't do that on the mic, please. What else you got, Ev?
All right, next one we got some news that came out today. It's a bummer news, so sorry for that. But former UFC fighter Ryan Jimmo got killed this morning. This morning, hit and run.
I don't think it was this morning. I think it was over
At
the
2:15 a.m.
They, so from my understanding, he was at a bar or something like that, had an altercation with a guy. He was outside. The guy was in a truck, in a lifted, like, big truck. Him and another guy were driving, and Ryan was at the door or something. There's a conversation, didn't go well, and the guy backed up and ran over Ryan, killed him.
God damn.
Hit and run. Hit and run.
But
It's a homicide because they're
Yeah.
not releasing Ryan Jimmo's name, but his
Correct.
family and I think friends came out and said, "Nah, he's the guy that died."
Yeah, they're investigating it as a homicide.
Fucking bummer, man. They haven't caught the truck, but you're gonna get caught. It's outside a club. People
I'd
know what car you
imagine.
drive. A truck, you should be fucked.
Yeah.
What a fucking bummer, man. He was a stud, super stud. Well, he had that taekwondo style. He's fun to watch, man. I'm
Yeah,
surprised.
he was really fun to watch.
Yeah, super fun. That's a fucking bummer.
Great walkouts too.
I know.
What a bummer.
That sucks, man. What else you got?
Yeah, it's a bummer. So the next one that we should talk about is Brexit.
What?
Brexit.
The Britain voting to leave the European Union.
Hey, can you break this down into layman terms on why people should give a fuck? Like, can you
Yeah.
give it a very elementary?
So Britain decided to exit the European Union. The European Union was
Voted on by the people, right?
Yes, but that's tricky. It was voted overwhelmingly by people 50 and older. People 49 and under were overwhelmingly in favor of staying in the European Union.
So what's this mean? So what's it?
So it means that Britain goes back to the sterling. It goes back to their currency. The idea behind the European Union was, there are a lot of ideas, but mainly the United States has one currency.
The euro.
Lots
Well,
of
I'm saying for
different
Europe,
states.
it's
Yes,
the euro.
they wanted the euro. They wanted to create a bloc. And they wanted to sort of create, they wanted to be an economic powerhouse with power basically dictated from Brussels. Brussels, which is in Belgium, is the place that basically, decides how big cucumbers should be. It's a federal government. It acts like the federal government.
Okay.
And sets all kinds of policies. So everybody says we're all going to be part of the euro. Here's the problem. Here was the issue with the euro. The issue with the euro was that workers, say in Italy and say Greece, that culture is so different than, say, German culture. And the fact of the matter is, German workers tend to be more productive. They produce more stuff than, say, Greece does. Well, when you share the same currency, though, used to be when the Greeks had their own currency, the Italians had the lira, and then the Germans had the sterling. Because that economy in Germany produces more, their sterling, like the dollar, is worth more than the lira. Because, and you would lift or lower your currency according to the productivity of your economy.
Sure.
When you have the euro, that no longer comes into play. So the Italian euro is worth as much as the German euro.
Which is an issue.
It's an issue because what happens is when someone like Greece, for example, doesn't pay their taxes and their banks there's a run on their banks and their economy blows up, they have to be bailed out. They can't be left in the wind because if they're left in the wind, they're a player in
everyone else.
Exactly. And that was one of the biggest issues. But the main reason that Brexit happened was really because it made no economic sense. My God,
What didn't make economic sense?
It made no economic sense for them to leave the union.
Oh, gotcha.
You got to remember that for example, if Spain or Italy left the European Union.
Everyone would be fucked.
They have so much debt. They've borrowed so much. If they go back to the lira and try to pay that debt back in lira, everybody gets fucked.
Yeah.
You know, so everybody's kind of in this.
So is it going to create a domino effect, or everyone else like, all right, Britain, you're on your own? That was fucking stupid.
The biggest worry is that Europe is going to say, get away from us.
To England. To
yes,
Britain.
get away from us. And you're no longer part of our union. And they're going to be, for a lot, the way people are, they're going to be shunned for a lot of reasons. They're going to make it difficult to do business. Now, American companies do a lot of business in the UK, especially banking, because it's the same language. It's just easier. We share the same values. The problem is, are companies going to put themselves in England when it could be it could be a problem for all those other countries? There's a lot of stuff that's up in the air.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that economically, and remember, the
So
people that voted this in were older
Older.
people in England, not younger people. But literally, people 30 and under, I think it was like 78% wanted to remain in the European Union. So it's really an interesting kind of division but this is also so much about immigration. So much of this, and you have to take into account, so much of this is about countries like Britain, who have a very long-standing tradition, a proud tradition of how their country works. Their institutions are impeccable, and you know, people want to go to those countries. Remember, Britain is the second largest economy in Europe. Germany's the first, second largest. What does that mean? A lot of Eastern Europeans go there and they want to work. But when you have unchecked immigration, when you have people who can just come from Poland and Hungary and everywhere else, not to mention people coming from other countries that were former colonies like India and stuff, and now Pakistan, and now, by the way, Afghanistan, and now, by the way, Syria.
Yep.
It's a lot for those countries to deal with. Immigration has been very good to Britain. It's been very good to Britain. Immigration, in fact, Japan's problem is they have no immigration because they're, I'm sorry, pretty racist. Immigration, for the most part, has been very good for Europe because those people come, they start businesses, they pay a lot of taxes. It's been very good for Europe. However, you have to take into account that people feel like they're losing their culture. Yeah. There's a lot of clash. There are a lot of people that are coming that are so different, that are, for example, a lot of people that are very, very Muslim, who don't want to assimilate, who don't want to learn the language. That's a fact. Not all people, but that's one example of where the anxiety comes from.
Sure. Which is understandable.
Of course it's understandable.
So
it doesn't make you a racist. It just makes you go, I love my country and I feel like I'm losing.
And it's changing.
I'm
well,
losing
you say
my
that
identity.
granted, obviously it's extremely different, but like even Abbott Kenny, we were on there the other day, you go, fuck, it's changing.
Yes.
Man. And I went, oh, it's good. I'm not from here. And I went, yeah, it's good. Isn't it great? Yeah. You go, not right. I remember it the old way, man. Yeah. I like it the old way.
And that's what human beings do.
Yeah.
You know. But
no one likes change.
This is even a little
for
more
sure.
different.
No, to the 10th degree.
Because like Sweden, if you think about Sweden, there's a country of 7 million people or whatever. They have 1 million immigrants. It's 1 in 8, and good for them. However, again, if you have the Swedes who had a Lutheran work ethic, they followed the rules. When you have other people coming in who don't follow the same cultures, who are living off welfare, who are taking advantage of the institutions, like the welfare institutions, it can get people get anxious.
And,
they go,
and,
we're
that's,
losing
and
our
that's
country.
why England was like, you know what, fuck this. We don't want to deal with this anymore.
It's also why a lot of European countries are swaying very right wing. They're becoming very nationalistic and people who are saying things like let's get out of the union.
And that's what Britain did, right?
Votes,
they went way to the right.
And it's embarrassing to a lot of Brits.
And you think people are going to follow
It's embarrassing.
Or you think other people are going to follow suit? Like, were they the first ones to risk this?
The worry,
or are they going to see how it pans out and then?
The worry is that the European order of things is going to break down, and because their economies have been stagnated, because you have so many young people out of work, and because Europe is in an identity crisis because of all this transmigration of peoples, which again can be a very good thing and has been. But it also has a dark side. And what happens is you get sharp profiles who say, hey, let's take our country back. And what does that mean? Let's close our borders up. Let's do these things. They become very nationalistic. You get people who,
us versus them.
You get that mentality. And what happens is you can get this momentum where people say, I don't give a shit what it does to us economically. I want out and I want to go back to my country as an independent country. That's an emotional reaction. What you saw in Brexit was emotional. It was not, you had so many CEOs, so many like sort of politicians
Saying
who
this is
really
bad,
saying,
right?
guys, let me
Yeah.
explain why this is so bad,
Yeah.
why this is not good for you.
I haven't heard any positivity on
Well,
it.
think about this. The sterling fell by 12% against the dollar, which if you talk to financial analysts is so unheard of. It's like he said that happens once in your lifetime. Where, let me put that into context. If you go to buy a Ford, you're going to buy a car in England, you're going to buy a Ford. It just went up 12% in its price. You can't afford it.
That's a shitload of money.
Yeah, and there
house?
are countless examples of this now. And the biggest thing is the worry for huge financial institutions that are saying, well, should
We're not
we
coming
set up
anymore.
shop
Yeah.
here? Because what is that? What is the sterling used to be? You bought look, real estate in London. I just heard in London, which was one of the safest places to buy real estate. So all the Russians, all the Chinese,
Very expensive.
everybody would buy it.
Very expensive.
Yeah, so
London?
it was crazy.
What?
Worse than Venice.
Yes,
Right?
way
Yeah.
worse.
Well, it just fell by 20%.
Well, I need to buy property there.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, it's because of this great uncertainty. Now that you left the European Union, is Europe going to punish you? Are the rest of the Europeans going to say, you're doing business there? We're going to have some problems with you. It's a very interesting time.
But do you think any choice they made would have had repercussions, right? Like, obviously, this was the dramatic
Oh,
one.
well, here's
this
the-
is going to cause the most waves.
Well, here's the
But don't
crazy
you think
thing.
whatever they did would have caused
Well,
backlash?
so when you're a financial analyst and you're a trader and you're in the financial markets, there are really good barometers to figure out whether or not this was going to be a yes or no vote. And all the bookies, all the people the smart people, the guys who look at all the minutia and the
They're
details,
balls deep in it. They
were
said
like,
no.
They're like, there's no way. They're going to stay. They're going to
Yeah.
vote to remain. It's close, but they're going to vote to remain.
Yeah.
That's why when it was exit, it was shocking. It literally was like everybody.
Jaw
My
dropping.
brother-in-law, they went,
Everyone-
what?
Everyone.
What?
Everyone.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I know.
And people,
People are
took
freaking out.
very different positions in the marketplace.
Yeah. This might be a stupid question. I'm almost embarrassed to ask it. Is there any...
There are no stupid questions on this.
Well, but this one's a little weird. Is there any migration to the Middle East from Europeans or Americans? Like, is there anyone going to Afghanistan or Pakistan or anything like? Do they get any
Very
of that?
little. No.
Nothing.
The answer is effectively no.
No.
The answer is because when you look at Syria, which has been destroyed,
Obviously,
when you look at
Syria is
Afghanistan,
horrible.
which
You
is-
look at ISIS-torn communities, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Syria, I get. Obviously,
Yeah.
no one's fucking.
But the
going to
answer
Syria.
is-
But like Afghanistan,
No.
any of the Middle East,
No.
are they getting any
Nothing
any
nothing-
immigration?
It would be the only thing they're getting, by the way, are
American troops?
young radical
Radicals,
Islamic
which isn't
kids
shit.
who are like, I want to go fight.
But which isn't
Yeah,
shit.
no, those issues
So it's
are-
very one-sided.
It's very
It's
interesting.
very
too.
one-sided.
Very one-sided. Like one of the, Japan's huge problem. Think about
that's a
this.
big
This is
issue.
fascinating. Japan's biggest problem, and a lot of countries in Europe's biggest problem, actually, and it's fascinating, is that because people aren't having children or they're having one child, like with Japan, they don't have a young enough population to support their elderly
Elders, yeah.
population. And not only that, they don't have enough people to support their economy.
Mm-hmm.
Their economy is going in reverse. I think they're at 150 million people, and some projections in the next 20 years, 25 years, they'll be down to 100
Why aren't they
million.
reproducing
Because
like
they're
everyone else?
because
They're
of their
selfish?
culture, and more importantly, you want to talk about a country that could really use immigration, and they don't. They won't. They close their borders because they've always been very, very xenophobic.
Yeah, but I think it's two extremes, right? Like
Yeah.
the United States and England, they open their borders.
Yeah.
Japan's the exact opposite, where they close them. I think there has, and I'm going to take heat for this. I think there has to be a middle ground
There is, and you're right, and that's what
because
this is
you
about.
can't have
have
England,
Brussels. You can't have the bunch of
you
liberal.
can't have France
Yeah.
look like Afghanistan. You can't. You just
100%.
can't. I'm not saying anything racist. I'm
No.
not
They're
anti-immigration.
losing their identity. They feel that way. You have to take into account the fact that
It's
they
also
feel
very
that way.
one-sided too, isn't it?
It is.
Very one-sided. So I get why someone's like, "What the fuck, man? Yeah, no, we're out of this.
Yeah.
This doesn't. I didn't grow up like this. They're not even following the same
Well,
rules."
the biggest problem is that when guys open up with machine guns in your theater, and you're killing Europeans, and you're going, "I'm going to kill you guys. I live here. I live off your benefits. I live off your way of life in your liberal institutions, and I'm able to preach, put up mosques or whatever,
anti-government, yes.
and I come in and I shoot a bunch of people."
Yep.
You're not going to make a lot of friends. Now, having said all that, it is true, though, that for the most part, Germany's population rate was at 0 among Germans. What saved it was Turkish immigration, was Arab immigration,
Sure.
because a lot of those people came in with skills
Yeah.
and with
And a work
ambition.
ethic, yeah.
And they did a lot to increase their tax base, and Germany has made out like a motherfucker with the euro. It's why you can afford Mercedes, because they were able to keep their Deutschmark, they were able to keep their currency at the same level as Spain or Greece or Italy. So it's been very good for Germany. It's been tough on other countries that don't produce as much. But also a lot of that stuff is the fact that those countries they play by different rules.
Super fascinating.
Yeah.
What else you got?
I hope that was illuminating for
100%. It's confusing. I watch CNN and they're so balls deep in it. I need to go back and I try to read all I can on it, but it's tough if you don't know
the new good news for Americans probably is that Europe is not a stable place. I would argue that Europe is, and if you hear historians, historians are very worried that it is the breeding ground for what looks like conflict. Look, Russia has been kept in check by these blocks of power. Russia loves the fact, they love that Britain is alone now, because Russia can now flex its muscle and behave the way it always has, which is like a very imperialistic culture.
That's scary, man.
China loves this. So the problem is that when you start having a fractious,
like these
breakups,
they see the old
and nationalistic movements, because the economies are bad, you can trace it back to every war we've ever had. And where is the stable place to put your money? Good old USA. So in a way, this might be good for the US, but where are we going to sell our products to? Who's going to buy our products if those economies are bad? We've got some issues.
What else you got, Ev?
That's a wrap on currents. That was
Damn.
That was very helpful.
Boom.
I feel like I understand the situation better.
Good.
Thank you, Bryan.
And if you want, I can break it down more later, but that's the broad strokes. But just, I guess the big lesson also to know is that this affects all your lives. It's going to affect our lives. It's important to have a working understanding a little bit of it. And the New York Times does a good job.
It's also important to vote.
It is important to vote. It is important to vote. And, these are confusing times, man. They're confusing times.
A lot to go over.
There's a lot of shit going on, and there always have been. There always has been in a lot of ways. Maybe when you're in it, you think it's way worse than it is.
Yeah. Tough to navigate through. You got a dropping knowledge, Bryan?
My dropping knowledge.
Even though that was kind of dropping knowledge.
Yeah, my dropping knowledge was about addiction. I read a really interesting article.
Addiction?
Yeah. There's an article in the New York Times, and I was on the plane, and I wanted to just kind of. It's called "Can You Get Over an Addiction?" and it's by Maya Zanovitz, who is the author of Unbroken Brains, a revolutionary new way of understanding addiction. And it's in the New York Times if you want to look it up. But basically, I thought it was fascinating because there are basically two models. She was an addict herself before she became...
Drugs?
Yes, heroin. And there were two models. One was, you're a criminal, you need to be jailed and punished until you stop doing it. Most of us know that punishment doesn't change behavior. Yeah. I talked to a famous therapist who said that. He was a psychiatrist.
I think everyone knows that now.
But you know what, though? We, as guys, we want to be like, hey, we do this with our kids. You bring the hammer down sometimes. He said, punishment doesn't change behavior, it suppresses behavior. It'll stop behavior for a little while, but as soon as that's done, people go back to it. And the other idea was that, well, your brain has been hijacked by these chemicals, and it's a progressive disease where, like cancer or anything else, you're kind of like spiraling into it.
It's also a very addictive drug. Like the drug, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a hold of you.
Well, so what I thought was fascinating with brain science and with studies on animals was that, and all due respect to AA, but the fact of the matter from what I've read.
Less than 1%.
That's what I've read, is that and people need it, and it helps a lot of people. But
less than 1% succeed.
The percentage rates are not high. I don't know what it is, but that you've read that, right?
I've read that.
Okay, I'm not the
it
only
might be
one.
less than 5% from my understanding. I was listening to this on.
I think
it was a TED Talk.
Radio Lab, right?
Yeah. Radio Lab. It's either 1% or 5%.
I think it's 5%.
Most likely, most people don't succeed.
When you start looking at your
and they go multiple
power
times
and stuff like that.
And like if you want to go to passages at Malibu, $80,000 a month. So.
Yeah, and I think you're right in saying that a lot of these programs really have a hard time changing addiction. That's what she talks about. She goes, people keep coming back to the problem. What brain science has found, like imaging and studies on animals where they're able to look at your brain and human brains when they're doing drugs, this is so wild. When people stop doing drugs, the same areas of the brain that I guess are affected or get lit up are the same kinds of brains when you go through a breakup, like a terrible heartbreak.
Okay.
So Addiction is more about people who have serious addictions have trouble coping.
Yeah,
they have trouble. They have a trouble with their coping. Their coping mechanism
It's numbing.
is
the
not
solution.
connecting. They're connecting instead of connecting to love and a baby, for
They're
example.
connecting to the drug.
Exactly. So they're trying to figure out a way to rewire. So what they're finding is that when you rewire when you try to kind of like reconnect with a community or with, it's exactly like that amazing experiment where they took rats and the ones that were doing cocaine and they were in their rat cage, the shitty rat cage, they died.
Yeah, it's
but
a
then when
rat,
they made it rat heaven where
Yeah.
they had a community to
Yeah.
have sex and eat,
Yeah.
they stopped doing the cocaine.
It's a rat. But the only thing is how they were with addict. A lot of addicts become marathon runners. They connect to this
Yes.
group of runners.
There you go.
And because they found out when they're running and the high they get, the endorphins they get from running are very similar to when they're on drugs.
There you go.
So they're taking again.
And they're in a
this-
group. And they're in a
They're in a
group.
group. They're in a
Yep.
community.
Yes.
So they're taking whatever is meth or crack and they're replacing that with road work, running
Yes.
with a group. So they're getting that same
Which
connection.
is probably why AA works for some people, because that group gets very close. You got a sponsor. You got people that you can be around.
Some.
Yeah.
It's
but-
interesting though.
It is interesting.
And I'm not even trying-
and your brain changes. So most people who become addicts grow out of it by the time they hit like 23. So
Yeah.
a lot of it happens when you're younger, you're adolescent, your brain is changing. When your brain fully develops, a lot of people have no trouble kicking it. They kind of go, like they were,
That makes sense,
they
the
were
older
in
ones.
frats and they were drinking all the time and they finally went, fuck it, I'm not going to drink anymore.
Did you
Their
listen
brain
to the
changed.
Russell Brand podcast with Rogan?
Yeah, I loved it.
Might be the best podcast I've ever heard.
loved
But
it.
Russell Brand was talking about how he's a sex addict
Yep.
and a drug addict and alcoholic, and he's gone cold turkey for that. But for him, it was an ego thing. It was driven by ego and fame and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you haven't listened to it, do yourself a fucking favor and tune
He
in.
talks
to
about
that one.
Joseph Campbell, who's my favorite thinker of all time. Probably the most influential
It's
person
amazing.
on me was Joseph Campbell. Any of you young guys, read Joseph Campbell. Read everything he's written. It'll change the way you look at the world. And Russell Brand talks about it. But it reminded me of how influential Joseph Campbell was in my life. And he's one of the most influential thinkers of all time. And it's great.
But going back to brain study and stuff like that, not switch from drugs and all your dropping knowledge, but and he's right. Yeah, he'll be fine that I said this. But Tony Jeffries, who was in England for a while, me and him met for coffee, and we were talking, and he was a little like hesitant to talk about it. And he goes, "Can I be honest with you?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "I think I'm starting to see some repercussions, some effects from getting punched in the head so much." And I went, "Well, what do you mean?" And he goes, "Well, remember how," because he used my head coach forever. And he goes, "You know how to always forget stuff?" I was like, "Yeah, it's just because you're so busy." He's like, "That's what I thought." And then when I was in England, me and my wife were laying in bed, and she looked at me and goes, "Hey, do you remember we went to breakfast this morning?" And he goes, "I couldn't remember anything I did that day." And I was like, I'm on vacation. Because at first he used to say, "Oh, I forget everything. It's just because I have so much hectic shit going on. Whatever, I just go through the motions because I'm busy." But then they were on vacation doing nothing. And she goes, "Oh, well, no, you remember we went to lunch?" And he was like, "Couldn't tell you." She goes, "You don't remember what the fuck we went to lunch today?" He goes, "Couldn't tell you." And he goes, "Tell you what, tomorrow," so he asked her, he goes, "What did we do today?" And she goes, "Well, at 7 a.m. went through the entire day, step by step, what they ate, what they did, what they said, the stuff they laughed at, the streets, the cars, clothes, everything." And he goes, "All right, I won't remember because I get punched in the face. Tomorrow night, ask me what we did." She goes, "Okay, no problem." Next night, laying in bed, she goes, "What did we do today?" And they did a bunch of cool shit. And he goes, "Got nothing." She goes, "You got to fucking be kidding me." He goes, "You got nothing." So, and then, but we used to always make excuses for it because I went, "No, it's just because you're busy." And Tony goes, "Okay, what'd you do today?" And I went step by step from the moment I woke up, the coffee I made, what I picked up, what happened on my way to the drive. I could even tell you what song I was listening to on my way here.
Phew.
I could literally go boom, 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 boom. And he goes, "I can't do that." I said, "Well, what the fuck are you going to do?" He goes, "Well, I guess there's a place in Las Vegas who flies you out and studies your brain and then sends it to someone, a neurologist, something that tells you like how, like, you know, because you can't really tell CT until you got to be able to see the brain. There's no test
that's
for
right.
it.
You have to die.
You have to die.
Yeah.
So the technology's not there yet, but they can do certain things like reaction and put you through all this protocol,
But what would
and then
they
you
do
take the
for you
test
after
again.
that?
Couldn't tell you. Technology's not there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Though I talked to a buddy of mine, Chad Prasmick, who's the Denver Broncos top doctor. He's one of the top neurosurgeons in the world, brain surgeon, blah, blah, blah. And he told me years ago, as I was fighting, he goes, "Fish oil. Good fish oil will save your brain. Wow. It's harder. If you take a lot, it's hard on other parts of your body, but as far as your brain, it's the best thing you can take. I've taken fish oil every day since then.
Wow.
I told Tony that. I don't know what Tony. Well, you don't get hit in the head, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, but I'm getting older and I forget things.
I don't know. It's different. You're talking about something different. With Tony, he's been boxing since he was 6 years old.
We talked about it. I mean, he got 55,000 hits to the head just in.
But we make excuses because he goes, well, I was always a counter fighter. I'm like, you're missing the point. Yeah. How many rounds did you spar? A jab? Like, now we're finding out the headgear really didn't help you. Matter of fact, it made it worse. Like, there's all this new research coming out. So I don't know. It's scary, man.
What is this? You know, when I keep hearing this stuff, I swear to God, it ruins ruins. I love watching fighting. But
you know what else they told Tony? I guess he talked to the doctor. He was like, well, the thing is, it's not like you just wake up one day you're Freddie Roach or you're fucking Punchy McGee. It's gradually going to get worse. Like if you're starting to see signs now, in 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, it gets worse, and worse. So I don't know.
It doesn't stop. It doesn't kind of like stay.
No.
It just you keep degenerating.
Yep.
Well, that's really shitty.
Scary, right?
Yeah.
But I'm hoping he takes the test and like, you're just a dumbass. You can't even read.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For his sake. He for sure has some signs of it though. Just from his stuttering and the way he talks
right?
Most fighters do.
Yeah.
MMA and boxing. It's just
and football. And
football,
hockey.
not as much. I don't see it as much. I got to be honest. I don't see it as much. I just
Maybe
don't. I know it's dangerous as fuck. I don't. But they have 16 games. They don't hit in practice anymore. They have this long off-season layoff.
They don't hit in practice. You don't hit in practice.
No, not anymore at all. They have training camp. They can't have 2 days anymore. College is the same way. So I don't know. And they have these. You got to remember they have these long layoffs.
What are they doing about Pop Warner and stuff?
Parents are just being raging pussies and they're playing touch football and stuff like that.
It's probably better though, right?
It depends. I don't know, man. It depends. We don't want to get into that.
I know, right?
We don't. I mean, if a life without
right?
football,
right? Part of what makes America
fighting's
great,
different, though.
But part of what makes America great is that kind of stuff, right?
Fighting's different, though. Like it's different. Fighting's a different animal.
Yeah.
The goal of fighting is head trauma.
Yes.
The goal of football is to score a touchdown. The goal of fighting is to
knock you out.
Knock you unconscious,
yes.
which would be head trauma.
Yeah.
In football, head trauma happens because I'm trying to get the football to the end zone. But scary, man. I don't know. Hopefully Tony figures out. I'll keep you guys posted. I know he's flying out there doing something to get it done. My boy Cody did it too.
I just think about like.
Oh, you know who I was talking to? Because who I haven't seen forever. Shout out to Keith Jardine because he's at the Ellis race.
Good guy, man.
Keith and I were very close, man. He's one of he cornered me during the Ultimate Fighter. I wore a shirt on Ultimate Fighter, if you remember. He's always been a main training partner of mine. But we were talking because he's in acting now. He's doing these roles. He was in that movie Inherent Vice. He played this crazy guy. It was brilliant seeing him. Him and Tate Fletcher are boys in Caveman. So him and I were just talking. He was talking about podcasts. He goes, dude, I think it's great. You're the first fighter to do it. He goes, I always laugh because people come up to me, I'm going to do what Shab does. I'm going to do podcasting. He goes, I laugh because, the work that goes into that. And he goes, I get the same thing. People, I'm going to do acting now. He's like, dude. And he was telling me how he's taking classes. He's taking acting classes and doing all this stuff. He's getting these roles now. But I go, dude. And we were talking about certain guys. I won't say names. I go, you just need to talk to him. And I'll tell you after. I'm like, dude, he just needs to stop. Do you still talk to him? He goes, oh, yeah. And I go, what's he say? And you gotta give it away if I say what he said. But I go, dude, remember the way we used to spar? And he goes, they don't do that anymore. I went, bro, you used to fly in Denver off the plane. You would spar me for 2 rounds. I was a heavyweight. He was a light heavyweight. Then he'd spar Shane for 2 rounds. Then I would spar Shane for 2 rounds. Then we'd spar Keith for 2 rounds. And we'd just rotate.
And you're banging.
Oh, banging. And Keith was like, yeah, man. And the thing is your speed and it would hurt. Shane, you eat a jab. Even if you block, you eat a jab from Shane, you're getting fucked up.
Well, I remember watching, and these guys are way smaller, but I just YouTubed Amir Khan sparring before he fought Garcia. I mean, these guys are literally trying to kill each other. They're hitting so hard. They're wearing headgear, but so what? Yeah. They're swinging for the fences. It's insane. And he talked later. He goes, I think that kind of hard sparring may have contributed to the fact that I was dropped early.
You think, Amir Khan?
I mean,
that fight was that was a while ago. That was a long time.
No, but I'm saying, just watching them spar like that, I was shocked to see how much head trauma they were both taking. Like just And when they took the other guy's headgear off, his eye was just a massive red, just a giant.
Did you not think they did that though?
I
It's
think
boxing.
I guess with the more you learn, I just figured there was got to be a way to kind of avoid hitting that hard and going that full. But I guess
To
not.
get ready for a world championship fight?
I guess that's
What
part
are you
of the
gonna
game. I guess you're gonna.
What are you gonna do?
Well, I wonder though if there is a way. I know a lot of MMA guys are not doing that.
Not successful ones.
Jesus.
I mean, they're toning it down, but I don't know. A lot of guys say like,
They say it,
I just
right?
hit mitts. And I don't know, man. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't
Part
either,
of the
man.
game. Let's go to fan questions, Evan, the new tattoo cub.
Yes, yes, sir.
New tattoo cub the beard.
All right, first fan question. Brendan, I was training for a fight and broke my hand. What did you do during injuries to keep training?
Well, before I get into these fan questions, guys, I see all the fan questions. Quit asking me if I'm going to fight again. We got to stop that. Yeah, I'm training my ass off. I just love to train. It has nothing to do with fighting. That's done.
He will never
It's
spar again.
It's happening.
He will
It's
never
done.
fight again.
Not happening.
He will never spar again. He will never fight again. If you give him $1 million, he's not doing it for $1 million. He's not fighting ever again. He's not. Let me listen again. He's not fighting. No, but what about $1 million? He's not fighting for $1 million. If he can suck down to 170, he will do it. When he
True.
gets to 170, he's going to fight.
There you go.
Robbie Lawler, and only if they give him $10 million.
Correct.
But if they don't give him $10 million and he can't make 170, don't ask him about fighting at our live shows or on this podcast.
Thanks, baby.
He's never fighting again.
What was the question? So,
He
homeboys,
doesn't have to, and he hates it.
hey, homeboy's hurt and wants to know how he continues to train.
He broke his hand, and he wants to know what did you do during injuries to keep training?
Well, I broke my hand my third fight ever against Johnny Curtis. I broke my right hand knocking him out, which is why I have this big earthworm scar on my thumb now. And it's what gave me a jab because I had a cast and all I did is work on my left hand. So it made my left hand better than my right hand. So for sure, I don't know if you broke your left or right, but if you're not, so let's say you broke your left, you can't jab, work on southpaw and use your right hand as your jabber and kicks, obviously, and for sure. You can use it. Usually injuries are a way, I don't view it as something negative. I view it as something to get better, something you wouldn't work on, if that makes sense.
All right, next question.
Good metaphor for life, you fucks.
What?
Sorry, keep going.
Next question comes from Gambino. He wants to know your thoughts on Kanye's famous video, which I think Keely can give us probably
Did
a
you
better.
see it, B?
a better
I haven't seen
breakdown
it.
of.
I've heard about it. Like I saw an Instagram post, a bunch of famous celebrities in a bed naked.
Yeah. I think both you guys will like his meaning, though. Well, I mean, we'll see. But this is what he said about it. He said, famous people are treated like blacks were in the 60s, having no rights. It's not okay to treat celebrities like zoo animals.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Well, excuse me, sir. You made $100 million.
Okay.
so the reason why
Your
he made
wife is the #1 zoo animal.
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian asked to be that lion in the zoo with a fat ass and titties.
Okay, so
I'm a fan of
So-
Kanye, and this pisses me
So
off.
he made this video, and it's a kind of a visual experience, and it's all of these celebrities like Donald Trump, Taylor Swift, George W. Bush is in there.
How can he do it and use their name and
Rihanna.
likeness?
And then he tweeted, so yeah, it's not them. It's a video of them, but the only real person in the video is him because he smiles in the video and it's him. So his thing is, it's a comment on fame.
So famous people are treated like black people were
That's
in the
what he
60s.
has said.
Let's just take the first 5 years of the 60s, if I could. If you're black, and he's black, so he should kind of
He's
know
from
this.
Chicago, West Side
yeah.
Chicago, Brian.
Yeah. Well, I guess in the 60s, in a lot of parts of the country, especially in 1960, you had to drink from a black-only water fountain. You had to be in the back of a bus. You couldn't use almost all public toilets. So if you had to go, hold it or go in your pants. And you had separate and very shitty schools. You were redlined into terrible neighborhoods, usually the inner city with zero resources. and you couldn't afford a lawyer, and you went to jail, and you could be framed, and you were living under essentially what's called racial institutions. Now, doesn't mean there weren't a lot of people who thought that was wrong and stuff like that, but being black in the 60s,
compared to a celebrity
being black
now,
in the 60s, let's just take Miles Davis, who was out, one of the great American artists to ever live, one of the greatest virtuoso jazz trumpeters and an incredible musician. He's standing out enjoying a cigarette between recording sessions. White cop comes up and goes, "Move along, boy." And Miles Davis says, "I'm recording, I'm working here." And the guy takes his baton out, beats the shit out of him, and puts him in jail. And guess what? Nobody better than I, and Miles Davis couldn't do shit about it. So forgive me if Kanye, I think that when you say that,
shows
it
how
must be a
uneducated
little
he is.
offensive to a lot of black people that had to go
especially
through
his
that.
fans, but also I
Yeah,
think it
and
shows
you're
how
black.
uneducated he
The
is about
fuck are you
especially being from the west side of Chicago. The other thing is
Weird. That's a weird thing to say.
You know what he does though?
He knows better than that.
He probably knows better than that because he is a smart dude. But
Is he trying to create? Yeah.
He does it for effect, and obviously everyone's talking about it,
Yeah.
and the celebrities are like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And he just
And
does
then
it.
people
for
are like, well, black. But then people like me say, "Let me tell you why he wrong." I mean,
it educates people on black.
maybe
people.
maybe
I
if
don't
he's
know.
that is he that smart? I don't know.
I would assume so.
All right.
He said that he loves bodies, like he's obsessed with bodies, and he recreated.
I love him.
Brian,
I love
don't
him
know if
too.
you
So why?
know.
It's not that original.
I love him too, but
The guy, this famous portrait or this famous painting, Vincent Desiderio, Sleep. Have you heard of it?
No, let me see.
Well,
it.
that's
Oh.
it's. I'll show you.
that's
a
what he
picture.
did. Yeah,
It's
just
the
when
exact
celebrities in
same
bed,
thing.
naked, sleeping.
So the whole argument is if it really depicts celebrity exploitation or not.
Well, then we can't say that because you wanted this notoriety and this fame and the money and everything that comes with it, and now that you have it and you're bigger than ever, now you're anti. Oh my God! Again, he thought I'm reading a book.
You're treated like royalty. So princes were the same way. They
But
couldn't just
but
go out into
also
the
that
public market.
fame allowed that giant mansion you just bought in Beverly Hills. But the thing that doesn't, and this is what he wants us to argue and for all this attention. His wife is the number one. His wife is that fucking lion in the zoo everyone's coming to see, and the lions don't want to be there. The difference is she wants to be there.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, put me in the fucking cage. Put cameras around everywhere. Oh, I'm also gonna do a sex tape too. You want to see that?" So you can't. It doesn't make sense.
He says he's trying to make a point so his daughter can live a normal life.
Your daughter's fucked.
Your daughter is. Do you want your daughter to live a normal life? No, you don't.
No,
That's
because
a
she's gonna have her
lie.
own show on E. I guarantee
Yeah,
you.
neither one of you want your daughter to live a normal life. I don't believe that.
It's just not true.
Yeah.
Again, he's doing it for
You
awe
have
factor.
embraced- you
He's a
have em-
marketing genius, and I take him for what he is.
Yeah. You've embraced and chased that thing called fame like nobody has ever done. You've done it very well. You netted it. You caught it hook, line, and sinker, and you've got it mounted up on your wall. Don't act like that was an accident or like.
It's interesting though.
Yeah.
What he's doing. What else you got, Ev?
All right, next question.
Good breakdown, Kay.
Who would you most like Anthony Joshua and Chris Eubank Jr. to fight next after their impressive wins this weekend?
Anthony Joshua. I'd love to see him fight Deontay Wilder. That'd be an amazing fucking fight.
Over Tyson Fury?
Yes, Tyson Fury has to fight Klitschko, so it's so far out. Although Deontay Wilder has to fight Chris Arreola next. But I'd like to see Anthony Joshua come to the States and fight, to be honest. I'd like to see him come to the States and fight because all his fights have been at that O2 Arena, the big fights, and he also won his Olympics there, his gold medal in the Olympics. So I'd like to see him test the waters and fight Deontay Wilder in Alabama or New York, something like that. Be a great fight. And then Chris Eubank Jr., he won his fight by TKO. He's fighting Triple G next in England. So there you go.
He's all good.
Enjoy that, Eubanks Jr., by the way.
All right, next question. With talks of Rogan possibly leaving his position as the commentator for the UFC, who would you guys like to see in his spot? And Brendan, would you do it if you were offered the position?
Brian? Who would you like to see? I think the only guy, the issue is now, this is no backhand, no shade at anyone they have now, but right now you have guys who are very black and white, very vanilla. The thing that makes Rogan so special is he puts his personality, his flavor, his passion for the sport into it. And the guys you have now are very like, there's a right hand, transition to the ground.
Yeah.
And there's no passion. There's no, I don't want to listen to
Rogan
that.
is one of those very rare examples of a high-level performer / comedian been
And a
doing it for
historian of mixed martial
and
arts.
a fight freak, and he has 2 black belts. So he's done it.
There's no replay. So anyone
it.
who I suggest now, let's get this straight. Once Rogan leaves, the sport will never be the same. It will never be as good as it could have been.
Those shoes are too big to
fill. There's just no one out in the world right now who could do that. The one guy who I would like to see in place of him would be Chael Sonnen. The guy who does know the sport, has some personality. He obviously fucking fought forever. He'd be great. Although with his history, we've kind of forgot about that, right? So he was the best analyst on Fox by far until he got fired.
He's a great.
He works for ESPN now, but with the sale and stuff like that, I think Chael could be the top guy. He looks good, speaks tremendously.
Oh, yeah.
He's articulate.
Well. Yeah.
He's funny. So
I think he'd be the best.
I think he's the best. Right now, they don't have anyone. Right now, if you input anyone that they have, it's very black and white, very suitish. It's not going to gravitate.
It's very literal. It's very literal. It's not a lot
Our
of like.
Our sport isn't literal.
Yeah, they don't create a lot of color, and you need a guy like Chael who's so colorful and funny. And with points of view and knows the game well, did it.
In regards to what I do, I mean, I've never even thought about it. I've never thought about it. Dana White's not knocking on my door to take that job. Let's put it that way. He's just not.
You'd be good.
I'd be great at it. I just don't. I've never even thought about it just because Dana White hates the Brown. So it's just I don't worry about things I can't control.
Right. What
else you got, Ev?
All right, next one we got is CM Punk is officially fighting at UFC 203.
That's official, right?
Yes.
On Conor McGregor's card?
Yep.
In August?
No, not on Conor.
Conor's on
the
202?
Miocic Overeem.
Oh, in Cleveland.
Yes.
And what's the question? What do we think?
He's with Mickey Gall. Is that who he's fighting?
Mickey Gall's tough.
Yeah, questions are just
Mickey Gall has a knockout in the first round, right?
Yeah.
Or he has a win in the UFC. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
Mickey Gall was standing next to CM Punk. It was interesting to see how big Mickey Gall's head was, and he just looks like a.
Well, Mickey Gall's a real fighter. He's a purple belt.
Yeah. Different thing.
Hats off to CM Punk. Like I said, as a person, I love CM Punk. I want to play for the Golden State Warriors. Where's my fucking tryout?
I admire his courage. I
don't think it's, again, let's say the UFC, there's all these rumors they say or not. I think if you brought in a real sanctioned body or a real business to run the UFC, and 3 years from now you went, hey, Triple H wants to fight in the UFC. They go, what? Yeah, and I want to play for San Francisco 49ers. Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
It's a real sport. You're not just going to walk in
Earn
it. There's so much stuff you have to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to fucking do judo in the Olympics. I had to qualify. I got to do what? Yeah. A real business and go, no, that makes a mockery of the sport. We can't do that.
Yeah.
We appreciate your attitude. Here's what you'd have to do to get here. Here's the blueprint. A real business ain't going to have this shit. So I want CM Punk to do well. I like him as a person. It hurts the sport when they do these circuses.
Is he going to fight at 85?
Yes.
Yep.
So it'd be interesting, man. He has his hands full with Mickey Gall. But like I said, I like CM Punk, man. Is that it?
One more question. With NFL training camp set to open here soon, did you get any of the rookie hazing that they put through on the show?
On Hard Knocks, I fucking love that show. They're actually doing the LA Rams this year. HBO's, which I can't get enough of that show. I didn't really get any hazing because, like I said, I had a cappuccino in Buffalo and got the fuck out. I got hurt. So the only there's a little bit of hazing in college. They'd make us. There's a mic, so you'd have 2-3 days. Then at night you'd all eat together in the cafeteria, this giant cafeteria, and my buddy Clyde Sorrell would be the MC. They'd give him a mic, and you get up there, and the new guys would have to sing. You'd have to get them to sing a song, on the spot in front of everyone. Coaches were there. Coaches' wives were there. All the staff. You'd get up and sing a song, and some of them were terrible. Then I sang that Aerosmith.
No, you didn't.
I sang that Aerosmith song. I don't want to close my eyes.
I don't want to close
But I sang it to
eyes.
the head coach. People were like, "What the fuck?"
That's hilarious.
And then our coach Gary Brennan was like, "Get out!" And
were they laughing?
They were laughing. Everyone was clapping.
I don't want to close my eyes.
Everyone was rapping. I was like, "What the fuck am I gonna do?" I was like, "Aerosmith, this bitch," and I grabbed Coach Burnett and started singing to him. So
that's good.
It was fun, man. I never got too bad at hazing though. Some guys got fucked with, but no.
Yeah.
No, not too bad. There's no hazing in comedy right?
No.
You never got hazed,
No,
right?
you just get ignored.
Yeah, the hazing's just ignoring you.
People were just dicks when you're first starting out, You get bummed.
Until they get to know you.
You get bummed or you don't. You just can't.
What can you do?
Thousands.
Booyah! You don't have any shows coming up, right? You have some time off?
I have some time off, buddy. I got a little time off.
Boom. The Fire and Kid Live is coming to Arizona. Those tickets are almost sold out. Go to tfatk.com right now. We're in Phoenix, Arizona.
Can't wait.
The end of July.
And I think we're at Stand Up Live, which is a great club.
We're at Stand Up Live in Phoenix, Arizona.
Club.
2 shows. 1 show on Friday, 1 show on Saturday. Both those shows are almost sold out, so go get tickets right now before that bitch sells out. We will see you filthy desert animals in Phoenix, Arizona.
You filthy lizards!
This is the Fire and Kid. We're out.